Welcome to my channel, C.S. Lewis Spirit. In today's video, we begin with a story that might feel strangely personal, because deep down you'll realize this isn't just about someone else. It's about you. Heaven rejoice because you finally did this. But what exactly did you do? Let me take you back. Not to a battlefield, not to a grand stage, but to an ordinary room. Your room, where silence had been louder than any noise for weeks. You had been staring at the ceiling too often. Days bled into nights. And the weight on your chest? It wasn't anxiety anymore. It was a quiet, dull resignation. The kind that comes when you've given up, but the world hasn't noticed yet. You see, no one around you saw the slow fading of your spirit. You laughed at the right jokes. You nodded when asked. You even said, "I'm fine," like it was a prayer. But heaven watched, and heaven waited, because they knew the moment was coming. And that moment was quiet. There were no fireworks, no applause, just you at 2:13 a.m., sitting on the edge of your bed, holding your phone, thumb hovering over a message that could have destroyed your peace all over again. It was her name, the person you kept forgiving, the one who said the right words but never meant them, the one who returned every time you started to heal, as if sensing your strength and needing to tear it down again. And for a second, you were about to fall back into the same trap, the same cycle, the same pain. But then something inside you shifted. You put the phone down. No tears, no outburst, just clarity. And in that 1 second of stillness, heaven rejoiced. Because for the first time in what felt like forever, you chose you. That decision to not call, to not chase, to not seek closure from someone who never offered it wasn't small. It was a spiritual victory, a silent rebellion against everything that tried to convince you that your worth was negotiable. You didn't need a crowd to cheer. You didn't even need someone to understand, because someone already did. And far above you, in a realm unseen, something stirred. A whisper, a smile, a celebration that echoed not through cities, but through souls. This wasn't about revenge. It wasn't about proving anyone wrong. It was about becoming someone right. For yourself, for your healing, for the version of you who had been waiting so patiently to come back to life. But just when you thought it was over, a message came in, not from her, from someone else, someone unexpected, someone who hadn't spoken to you in years. And what they said changed everything. So stay with me, because what happens next will shake you. And maybe, just maybe, it'll finally make you understand why the angels weren't silent when you made that choice. The story's just beginning. You stare at the screen. That name, it wasn't someone you expected. In fact, you hadn't heard from them in nearly 5 years. Back when life felt like it had more direction, more color, their message was short. Just one line. "Are you okay?" But somehow, it felt louder than all the noise you've been carrying. You didn't reply. Not yet. Your heart was racing. Why now? Why tonight? Out of all the nights, this one. The same night you finally chose to stop running after what was slowly killing you. The same night heaven might have smiled. The same night silence felt like strength for once. You put the phone down again and leaned back. The memories started coming in, uninvited but impossible to ignore. That person, the one who had just messaged, was once your safe place. Not perfect, but real, honest. They saw you when others only looked. They listened when no one else heard. But you let them go, or maybe they let you go. Back then, you didn't know how to hold on to someone who cared. Not when your heart was still bruised from people who only took. Your mind drifted to those moments. Sitting on the rooftop talking about dreams that never happened, laughing at nothing, sharing secrets you thought you'd carry alone forever. And then, just like that, it was gone. Life pulled you both in different directions. No fights, no drama, just silence that grew too wide to cross. So why now? Were they going through something too? Had they felt something shift the way you did? Or was this just a coincidence? You want to believe in signs, in divine timing, in the idea that heaven doesn't just watch but guides. But it was hard, You've been disappointed too many times by people who came back only to remind you why they left in the first place. Still, something felt different. Not louder, just deeper. Like the universe was nudging you. Like healing wasn't meant to be lonely. Like maybe, just maybe, some people returned not to reopen wounds, but to help close them. But before you could decide what to do, your phone buzzed again. Another message, this time from an unknown number. No name, no context, just 5 words. And those 5 words made your chest tighten, because they knew something no one else could have known. And somehow, it wasn't just about you anymore. The message read, you weren't supposed to walk away tonight. You froze. It didn't have a name attached. No profile photo. Just those words. Your heart dropped into your stomach. There was no way this was random. No one else knew what had just happened. No one could have known how close you came to falling back into that pattern. No one could have known that you stood at a crossroads tonight and chose yourself. You stared at the message, your mind racing through every possibility. Was it her? Was it someone close to her? Or was there something else entirely? You thought about the message you didn't respond to, the one from the person who genuinely cared years ago. The timing felt too perfect to be coincidence. But then again, pain has a way of making everything feel suspicious. You've been burned too many times to trust easily. And now, this mysterious message felt like a thread pulling at something hidden, something unfinished. What did they mean? You weren't supposed to walk away? Supposed to stay broken? Supposed to keep giving pieces of yourself to people who didn't value them? The air in the room felt heavier now. What if this wasn't just about relationships? What if something or someone had been watching longer than you realized? What if walking away tonight disrupted something bigger than just your personal healing? You started questioning everything. The sudden reconnection from your old friend, the strange timing, the message. Was it all connected? Or were you just overthinking in the quiet hours of the night? But deep down, something didn't feel right, because choosing peace shouldn't come with fear. And yet, as you looked at your phone again, another chill crawled down your spine. You weren't alone in this anymore. You locked your phone, then unlocked it again, like maybe the screen would change, like maybe the words would disappear. But they didn't. That message was still there, staring back at you, quiet and cold. You weren't supposed to walk away tonight. Your mind raced through every possible angle. Was someone testing you? Playing some strange emotional game? Or was this deeper? Something you didn't fully understand yet? You stood up, pacing the room. Every sound felt louder now. The ticking of the clock, the hum of the streetlight outside, even the distant bark of a dog. The silence had changed. It wasn't comforting anymore. It was watching. Then your phone rang. Not a message this time. A call. No caller ID. You let it ring. Once. Twice. 3 times. Your finger hovered over the screen, not out of curiosity, but because something inside you whispered that everything might change depending on what you chose. You answered, but no one spoke. You didn't hang up. You just listened, and in that dead silence, you could hear it. Breathing. Slow. Steady. Not threatening, just knowing. As if the person on the other end already understood what you had done and what it meant. You whispered, "Who is this?" Still no answer. Just that breath. And then a soft click. The line went dead. You stood there frozen. Phone still pressed to your ear, as if answers might still come through the silence. But all you felt was your pulse pounding. Because tonight wasn't just a personal turning point. It was something bigger. Something watching. Something waiting. And as you walked slowly back to your bed, another notification flashed across your screen. A photo, one you didn't remember taking. And in the background, someone was standing behind you, your breath caught in your throat. You zoomed in on the photo. It was you, sitting at your desk just moments ago, phone in hand. The curtains were drawn behind you, the same hoodie you were still wearing. Everything perfectly matching this exact moment. But in the corner of the frame, just barely visible in the dim light, was a figure, blurred, standing, still, right behind you. You spun around instantly. Nothing. No one. The room was empty. But the panic? That wasn't going anywhere. You searched every corner. The closet, under the bed, behind the door. You even checked the hallway, barely breathing as you listened for footsteps. Nothing. Not a sound. But the damage was done. That picture was real. Someone had been there, or still was. You sat down, phone shaking in your hand, trying to piece this together. That message, the call, now this photo. It was no longer about emotional healing or letting go. This had turned into something you weren't prepared for, something that felt deliberate. Then you remembered something, a moment you brushed off earlier in the day, a car parked outside your building for hours, engine running. You didn't think much of it then, but now your mind wouldn't stop connecting dots that maybe weren't just coincidence. You checked the photo's metadata. No location tag, no sender, just a timestamp. Exactly 3 minutes ago, which meant someone wasn't just watching you. They were close enough to take the photo in real time, close enough to know what you were doing. And when you thought about calling someone, but who would believe you? What would you even say? Heaven rejoiced because I finally made the right decision, and now someone's stalking me because of it. And that's when the second message came in. This one was different. A video, just 10 seconds long. And as you tapped to open it, your heart pounded against your ribs. It was taken from outside your window. Tonight, the camera slowly zoomed in on your silhouette, pacing, restless, unaware. And as the video ended, the screen faded to black, except for one word written in shaky text at the bottom. Undo. Your thumb hovered over the video, replaying it again and again, hoping to spot something, anything, that could explain what was happening. The word undo echoed in your mind like a threat. Or was it a request? You finally did what your instincts had begged for. You called the one person who had reached out earlier, the one who had asked, "Are you okay?" They answered on the first ring. Their voice was calm but concerned. You explained everything, the messages, the photo, the video. You expected disbelief, maybe even pity. But instead, they were quiet. Then they said something that made your blood run cold. "I think this is about me, not just you." You sat down, stunned. They told you there was something they hadn't shared. Something they thought they had buried years ago, back when you both lost touch. A mistake. One night, one wrong decision that hurt someone deeply, someone neither of you ever really knew. They described it as a cross path with a stranger who was too quiet, too intense, and too forgettable to notice until it was too late. That stranger, they said, had warned them before disappearing. "If you walk away without making it right, one day I'll follow your silence." And now, years later, they believe this was it. That you were caught in the ripple of something they left unresolved. That your choice to finally walk away from your own toxic cycle may have activated whatever force had been waiting in the shadows. You asked, "So what do we do now?" They hesitated and said, "I think we have to go back." But just as you were trying to make sense of that, another message lit up your screen. It was another video, but this time it was live. You watched, heart pounding, as the camera moved slowly, not outside anymore, but inside a building. Your building, step by step, door by door, until it stopped, right outside your apartment door. The screen froze, and then the final twist. A message appeared. You did the right thing tonight, but someone else didn't. The camera shut off. Your doorbell rang. You didn't move. The doorbell rang again. Not loud, just a soft, deliberate chime, as if whoever stood there wasn't in a rush. They were sure you'd answer. You held your breath, inching closer to the door, every muscle in your body tense. You checked the peephole. No one was there. You waited. Another minute passed. Nothing. Slowly, carefully, you opened the door. On the ground was a small envelope. No name, no markings, just sealed, like a message meant only for you. Inside was a single piece of paper, written in messy handwriting with the words, "You finally broke the cycle. Now someone else has to." And beneath it, a photo, not of you, but of the person who messaged you earlier that night. The one who had tried to warn you. The one who had once cared and reappeared just when you were about to lose yourself again. In the photo, they looked younger, and beside them stood the stranger from their story, the one they thought had disappeared. It all began to make sense. You weren't being punished.